HSS. Dude, this is Indian Institute of Technology. I don't think there is any place for humanities, social sciences or anything like that. I don't know about it.
अच्छा IIT में ह्यूमैनिटीज में PhD होता है, ये कब हुआ?
HSS, लड़कियां तो बहुत होंगी तुम्हारे में।
HSS इस कैंपस में है क्या?
Humanities in IIT. I thought like IITs are only meant for technologies.
Humanities वो कौन सा डिपार्टमेंट?
तो लड़कियां तो बहुत होंगी ना।
इंग्लिश में रिसर्च भी होती है, फिर तो तुम्हें सिर्फ कहानियाँ पढ़नी पड़ती होगी।
तो बहुत होगी उसमें।
तुम्हारा एक्सेंट शायद अंग्रेजों से भी अच्छा हो।
You must have seen that meme where there's this air hostess who asks if there is a doctor on the plane because someone is sick and they're dying, right? And this guy at the back of the flight, he raises his hand and he says quite sheepishly, "I am a doctor of philosophy." Hi, I am Shinchan Chatterjee and I'm a doctoral candidate in English literature here at IIT Bombay in the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences. But until about 3 or 4 years before I joined this place, to be honest, I too, like my friends here, had no clue that the IITs had a whole department known as Humanities and Social Sciences. It's 2023 and there's still so much ignorance about humanities and social science studies in India, and there are still so many stereotypes about students who take up arts or humanities even in their +2 for their higher secondary exams, and there is a lot of confusion as to what the scope, what the future, what the career prospects of humanities students are, and in this video I'm going to be talking about all of that, and I hope to be able to enlighten both you and myself a little bit. If you are a humanities student, chances are you're often thought to be lazy or stupid or too dumb for the sciences, or just a drug addict or a romantic or generally ambitionless in life, that you had no dreams of your own and you settled for what you got and you chose the path of least resistance with minimal effort. Alternatively, you just wanted to go where all the pretty girls went. But the truth is, nothing could be farther to the truth than this. So this video goes out to every student who is looking forward to study humanities in his +2 but is not quite sure of his choice. This video goes out to every anxious father who desperately wants his son to become a doctor or an engineer. And this video goes out to every mother who needs his son, her son or her daughter to study science because देख बेटा हम पड़ोसियों को क्या मुंह दिखाएंगे. I had a number of friends from school who became engineers after 4 years of leaving school, got proper jobs with proper salaries, and soon they were flaunting their iPhones and their newly bought bikes and their cars and everything. But sooner rather than later, they realized that they were not happy with the work they were doing. They were working at a job that they did not like, under bosses who were insensitive, and being around colleagues who could not care less about them, in workplaces which were hardly conducive to their own personal growth. And eventually they had to quit, and now a lot of them have picked up alternative professions. Some of them are content writers, some of them are bloggers, some are vloggers, and some have become private tutors, some work in schools, and so yeah, I think life has taken them on a very different path that they themselves had chosen, and they often come to me and they pour out their regrets, and they tell me, bhai, I wish I had the courage to take up arts, to take up humanities. They tell me that it takes a lot of courage, it takes a lot of guts to be able to go against what the rest of the world is telling you and to follow your own gut. Because as a boy, as a male individual in society, you are supposed to be, moving into the sciences without questioning. You are supposed to be become a doctor or an engineer or a scientist without even questioning. And as a boy, if you study humanities, you're often seen as the effeminate one. You're seen as a lot of people would even think you're gay, or a lot of people would call you names, and a lot of people would bully you for being girlish or being different from the rest, for not being manly enough. Well, this goes back to, it's not just something that happens in our society alone, it's something that goes back to ancient Greece, would you believe it? And back in the day, women were supposed to be part of, they were supposed to be engaged in the private sphere, which means the domestic household level of things. So they would take care of the household chores, deal with the stuff at home and all that, whereas men went out to fight wars and have debates and engage in public discussions. So men took care of the state, so to speak. Men took care of the public realm of things, whereas women were relegated to the background. And that is where it all began, I think. So research says that women received 61% of the total bachelor's degrees in the humanities and social sciences that were awarded in 2015. And in the US itself, 54.7% of all humanities professors are female today. So if you are a boy, if you are a man who wishes to study humanities, I think you have got to be prepared for a little bit of stigma that might be associated with it for a while. And eventually people will see you do great things with what you're doing, people will see you love what you do, and then they will want to copy you. So even when I was at school, every year I would see students who did not particularly enjoy studying science, but they were already studying science in class 11 and class 12. So some of my seniors, some of my own classmates, they were always bitching about why they were studying what they were studying. They did not enjoy physics, they did not like chemistry, they did not like maths, and they did not like biology or computer science, but they were still somehow stuck there, and they were living the corporate life even as class 11 students. And it's kind of funny because when you look back, you see it's like a preparatory stage for what they will have to suffer for the rest of their lives. If you think of it that way, it's a very, very grim picture, I know. A lot of people do enjoy the sciences, and they do love what they're doing, and I'm really happy for them because they found their calling, they found their true passion, and they are committed to knowledge, committed to knowing more about the world and the universe and the chemicals, the biological, physiological functionings and operations of the world around us. But a lot of people I've seen, they only pick the sciences because it is the more culturally accepted, the more socially pragmatic, and the more economically lucrative kind of deal, and eventually they go on to, more often than not, regret it later on in their lives. Some of my friends, they had to give up their hobbies, they had to give up painting, they had to give up music, they had to give up singing, they had to give up running or just looking after their bodies because they just did not have the time, and it just did not make sense to me. So if you are a person who is deeply passionate about the arts, who is deeply passionate about knowing more about the history of the world that we inhabit, knowing about the fundamental questions, the basic philosophical questions of life and death, or the phenomena around us, or if you would like to invest yourself in, say, the sociology of things, you should push yourself to explore these issues. You should push yourself to learn more about these and to see which direction your heart is, your mind is pushing you towards, because more often than not we tend to do things out of fear rather than out of love. Pick something, even if it's a hobby, even if it's a lifestyle, even if it's a habit. Pick it out of love for the activity itself, out of a sense of passion, a sense of zest, a zeal for knowing more about it. And the more you know, the greater you become, the bigger you become as a human being. So do whatever you have been dreaming to do. Explore yourself, find out new things about yourself, learn about the world that you belong to, the world that you inhabit, the people around you, the structures around you, the society around you, right? And sometimes looking forward can be a daunting task, and it might feel overwhelming because you have no clue where your next step will land, right? And the trick is then to just close your eyes and take the next step, just believing, just having the faith that there is ground, there is going to be ground underneath your next step, and that ground is going to hold you, it's going to catch you, and it's not going to let you fall, right? It's a matter of faith, it's a matter of one leap, one blind leap. So the next time you tell someone that you want to take up arts or humanities in your +2 and they give you a frown, or they ask you why, as if you've gone crazy, or they try to convince the shit out of you, and they try to take away all your motivation to do what you want to do, and they want to chain you up and tie you down and shatter your dreams, just show them this video. Just tell them that it's fine, because it's fine if they don't trust you, because it's, you trust yourself now and you know what you're doing, and you have to work hard. It's not like you're going to get there without any work at all, but it's going to be worth it because you chose this, because you did it out of a deep sense of love for what you were doing, a deep sense of curiosity for what you would learn along the way. Admittedly, a doctor of philosophy cannot save a dying person mid-air on a flight. We are all, as part of humankind, we are all quite powerless in the face of death. But what humanities scholars can do is save the day in a more quiet, more unobtrusive, and more invisible kind of way. See, what they do is they work on their documents day in and day out, and they figure out the underlying foundational stones of society, of institutions, of ideas and principles, of languages and literatures and systems of meaning construction. They question the discourses flying around in the world. They question the self, the mind, the body, and they examine the very givenness of things, the very foundation of knowledge itself, and they question the veracity of what we have come to accept as the truth. An English major will teach you to see everything as a text, to read everybody you meet as a character in a play or a novel, and that will give you a sense of perspective, right? That will help you when you're too immersed in your own story to step back and to see yourself as a character, and to feel light. A philosophy scholar will probably ask you to question all the assumptions about you and your essence and your life and the world that you inhabit, the world that you take for granted every single day of your life. A psychology major will teach you why your brain works the way it works, and a sociology student will teach you about how all phenomena is essentially social and consequently political. And long story short, everybody has a brand new perspective to offer you. Everybody has a new lens of seeing things through which you can see things as well, and that will change the way you see your world forever. In a world where everything boils down to fayda kya hai or utility, I think studying the humanities, it can change the way we perceive the world around us, and the way we treat each other and the way we treat ourselves, more importantly. Poems, words, thoughts or ideas, they can still change the world, and often it is the people who no one imagined anything out of who do the things that no one imagined. In a later video, I plan to acquaint you with some of my amazing, truly erudite colleagues who are also working in the Humanities and Social Sciences department here. They belong to different disciplinary backgrounds: English literature, sociology, political science, philosophy, psychology, Sanskrit, among others. We will learn very briefly about their research topics, why they got interested in pursuing them, and maybe get them to talk a little bit about their experiences in IIT Bombay. We will talk about the more pragmatic side of things, the jobs, the career prospects, and the ways we can earn money and sustain ourselves in the real world in our next video. So please do subscribe to my channel and stay tuned. Meanwhile, if this video did inspire you in any way, go ahead and share it with your friends, your family, and teachers and students as well. So see you on the other side. Cheers and take care. Bye bye.